what's up, you guys? If you're in Canada or the United States, happy Labor Day. Do you guys do anything special on Labor Day? Let me know in the comments. For us, Labor Day means one thing: back to school chaos. In Ontario, the school year starts the day after Labor Day, and because I'm so organized and together, I'm usually out doing last-minute back-to-school shopping on Labor Day weekend, kind of like how I do a good portion of my Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. Why do I do this to myself? You'd think I'd learn. Anyway, for obvious reasons, the whole back-to-school thing is very different this year. First of all, the start of school has been delayed by a week, and secondly, parents have had to choose between sending their kids to school in person or registering them for remote learning. To put the school reopening plan into perspective, here's the current COVID situation in Canada. As of today, September 7th, 2020, we have recorded over 130,000 COVID cases nationwide. Most of these have recovered. Sadly, more than 9,000 have died. We currently have around 6,400 active cases, and almost 1,400 of these are in Ontario. So all in all, in the global scheme of things, we're doing okay. Why? Our federal government has been listening to experts. Our provincial government started out listening to experts, but that's kind of fallen apart a little. And yes, we do have anti-mask people. We do have those who refuse to practice physical distancing. But I think for the most part, our situation is looking the way it is because people have been wearing masks. People have been conscious about physical distancing. As various stages of reopening have taken place, we've seen increases in the number of cases, but we haven't really had any massive spikes since coming down from the first wave. I am in fear that this is about to change because the provincial government's school reopening plan is so bad that it's given rise to the Twitter hashtag Unsafe September. Now, I will admit that my opinions may be slanted by the fact that I have had an intense dislike for this particular provincial government since day one. They have been attacking the education system and decimating services for vulnerable people in a Trumpesque kind of way. And that does not sit well with my bleeding heart liberal sensitivities. I'm sure someone in the comments will come after me for that, but you know, I happen to believe that society should take care of their vulnerable members, and that includes our kids. So here's the plan. This is what the government of Ontario has decided is safe. Secondary schools are opening on a hybrid model. Kids will attend every second day and learn remotely the rest of the time. Masks mandatory for everyone, 2-meter distancing applies, class sizes are capped at 15. On the face of it, that seems okay. We'll have to see how it works out in practice. Elementary schools. To use a phrase one of my southern friends uses when she starts a story, and I know I won't get the accent right, so bear with me. Y'all ain't gonna believe this. Elementary schools are opening full-time with full class sizes. So, like 30 kids in a classroom, many of which have terrible ventilation. The guideline is 1-meter distancing. You heard that, 1 meter, because there's no way to maintain 2-meter distancing with 30 kids in a room. Masks are mandatory for staff and students grade 4 and up, although some school boards are mandating masks for everyone. So in other words, it'll be like regular school, just with masks. The one saving grace to all of this is that, as I said earlier, parents can opt out of in-person school and register their kids for remote learning with options to switch to in-person at various points during the year. I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but I believe about 30% of families have chosen remote learning. Here's where it gets crazy. A lot of parents who are sending their kids to in-person school were banking on the idea that since a certain number of kids would be staying home, the in-person classes would be smaller. Makes sense, right? You have 30 kids in a class, 10 of them stay home, that leaves 20. Not perfect, but it at least allows for a bit more space between desks, which decreases the risk. So you would think, but that is not the way it is happening. The Provincial Ministry of Education is forcing the school boards to combine classes to make up maximum class sizes. So let's say there's a school with 10 classrooms. Each of those classrooms usually accommodates 30 students, so a total of 300 students. And let's say 100 of those students opts for remote learning, leaving 200 attending school in person. You're not going to have your 10 classrooms each with 20 kids. Instead, those 200 kids will be crammed into 7 classrooms, making any form of distancing impossible, and 3 classrooms will sit empty. And this makes my head spin. We are in a pandemic. Every credible expert in the world is telling us to maintain physical distancing. Customer limits are in place in most retail locations, and schools are not being allowed to use all of their available space to spread out the students. The school boards had plans to make this work. They had plans to keep class sizes down, but their hands are tied by the provincial government, which, by the way, is taking every opportunity it can to demonize the teachers. The teachers are not the ones being unreasonable here. They want to go back to school. They want to see their students, and they want to provide a quality education. They just want to keep themselves and their students alive in the process, which I think is reasonable. Both of my kids are registered for remote learning for at least the first couple of months. It was a really hard decision to make, especially for my autistic teen who is desperate to get back to his school, a normal life, and his people. But we have vulnerable people in our homes, so this really wasn't a choice for us. My prediction is that there will be outbreaks in schools, and it will all lead to a whole lot of community spread, and schools will be closed again by Thanksgiving. I have a horrible feeling that all of the mask wearing and physical distancing and the diligence that people have been putting into trying to contain this will be wasted. And you guys, I hope I'm wrong. I really, really, really hope I am wrong. I'll do a follow-up on this topic in a month or so when the schools have been open for a while. In the meantime, send me your back-to-school stories. I'd really love to know how it's been going in your family. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. There are 160 of you subscribed to this channel now, and I appreciate every single one of you. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button to be a part of getting this channel to 200. I would love for you to be part of my little community. I'll see you guys next week. Stay safe and healthy. Life is still a little weird. Be friendly to your neighbors from a distance, and be good to yourselves. Live your best life and be kind. Bye!